Hi CIB students, welcome to Adda 24/7. Firstly, a happy Holi to you all. Now you know as the exams are nearing, that's why we at Adda 24/7 have brought a special session for you, covering all the important questions of ABM so that you can follow them and clear your exams with flying colors. Okay, so don't miss it. Special session for all the important questions of ABM. Hi friends, welcome to Adda 24/7. We're in the Scholar series of ABM. Here we are covering important theory, numericals, and objective questions. So follow the series from the start. Let's start. A bank calculates that its individual savings accounts are normally distributed with a mean of 2000 and a standard deviation of 600. If the bank takes a random sample of 100 accounts, what is the probability that the sample mean will lie below 1900? This is a bit difficult to understand. Everyone pay attention. Huh? Everyone pay attention because very important part. Let me draw the line over here. Very important part. Understand, for this you need to know this normal distribution curve. Let me show you. Suppose if this is the normal distribution curve, okay? This one. So what is given in this problem? And say this. Mean is given as 2000. So this mean means what? This mean always lies at the center. This is the mean. And this is known as population mean. Mu, this is called as mu. That is 2000 population mean. Always remember, what are we doing actually in this numerical? We are doing some sample over here, sample, doing something on the sample, and then applying it to the entire population. Entire population we are applying it. Okay. So this is the meaning. This is the problem actually. Doing something on the sample and applying it to the population. Got it? Now, what is it given? Normally distributed. That the savings accounts are normally distributed. What do you mean by normally? It means the population is normally distributed. It means that the bank is having some savings account. Let me show you over here only. See this. This is the population and this is the sample. So this population means for entire savings accounts of the bank. Savings accounts of the banks is the population. Now, do you know how many savings accounts are there? Have they mentioned it? That the bank has 1 lakh savings account, 50,000 savings account, something like this. Have they mentioned? Nothing. So it means what? This savings account becomes this becomes an infinite population. Infinite. Okay? It becomes an infinite population. Got it? Now, as it becomes an infinite population, the formula for standard error changes. Get this, huh? Formula for standard error changes. Now, always while solving this numerical, first step which you have to find out is whether this is finite or infinite population. Because if you have infinite population, then the formula for standard error, psi x dash, we write it. Okay, so standard error equals to standard deviation psi upon root of n. That is the formula for infinite. Okay, I'll write it. And if it is a finite population, means known population, 1 lakh savings account, 50,000 savings account, then it becomes what? Same, psi upon root of n. Psi means standard error, standard deviation. Standard deviation upon root of n into square root of capital N minus small n upon capital N minus 1. This is for finite population. Okay. Now look at this. In the problem, whatever is given. What is given in the problem? Population is given as 2000. Okay, no, not population. Mean is given as 2000. See this. Mean is given as 2000 and standard deviation is given as 600. 600 for this population. So standard deviation means how much the answers deviate from this mu. So that is given as 600. Now what about the sample? In the sample they have given that the bank takes a random sample of 100. So 100 is the sample size. Small n is given as 100. Okay. Now have they given anything else now? Second part, what have they given? They have asked you probability of sample mean will lie below 1900. So what do you mean by below 1900? Look at this. This is 2000. This is mu is 2000. So on the left side will always be less than 2000. So 1900 will lie over here somewhere, right here. So what do we want? We want below 1900. 1900. So we want this area below 1900. Okay. This area below 1900. This is the basic answer we require. This area we require. Now how to find out the area over here? Now for finding out the area, let me give you some hint. See this. In exam also, they'll give you this normal distribution table. This table will be given to you. And now what have you to check? The upper figure over here. This figure is very important. If this figure is given as this way, it means what? It means it is starting from here, this point, to wherever you go. It's moving like this on the right side. If they give you the figure like this, and the red part over here, this red part over here is starting from here only. If they give you like this, if this figure red part is like this, only this part. Okay, then what does it mean? In that case, it means it is starting from 0.5. So when it starts from 0.5, the figures will be different, the answers will be different. So if they give you from this, the majority of chances you'll get it from in this, because this normal distribution table is used throughout the world. Starting from 1, because this total area is called as 1. This total area is 1. Okay. This half area is 0.5. See here, I'll write it over here. This is 0.5 area complete, and this is 0.5 area. Okay. So now what have they given? They have given that we want it below 1900. So we want this area. So for finding this area, this means what? This is a probability. The answer which you get is the probability over here. For getting this probability, you need to find out the Z value. Without Z value, you can't get the probability. Without Z value. Okay. So now look at this numerical. Firstly, what have you to do is you have to find out the standard error first. Standard error is given as psi upon root of n, because this is an infinite population. So psi upon root of n. What is psi? Psi means standard deviation. Here it's given 600. 600 upon root of n, root of 100. So 600 upon root of 100. So what is the answer? Root of 100 is what? 10. So 600 upon 10, you are getting it as 60. So my standard error is 60 now. Clear? Simple. My standard error is 60. Now, up till now, everyone has understood this. Type yes in the comment section if you have understood it. Has everyone understood this? Yeah. Okay. Done. Now what we do, the next formula which we get is Z. How to find out the Z? See, the Z formula is like this. Z equals to 1 upon psi x bar. This psi x bar means standard error into, now look at this, x bar minus mu. Now what is psi x bar? Psi x bar means this. Right now what you have got. So 1 upon 60 into, what is this x bar? X bar means what is asked. Here, what is asked over here? 1900. This is x bar. This is x bar. Okay, so it will be 1900 minus what is mu? Mu is given. Just now we saw it, 2000, right? So minus 2000. So do it now. 1900 minus 2000. I think so. Are you able to see this? Let me see. Yeah, you are able to see this. Okay, so I'll draw a line over here now so that I won't write anything over here. So now, so do it. Ignore the signs here. It is minus 100 upon 60. So ignore it. Minus sign is okay. You will take this as modulus. Okay. So it is 100 upon 60. So what is the answer you are getting? 100 upon 60. Everyone. What is the answer you are getting? 100 upon 60. 100 divided by 60. So the answer which you get is 1.66. 1.66. Okay, 1.66. So this is what Z you are getting. This is the answer which you are getting is of Z over here. Everyone, see, I'll explain this numerical 2 times because what happens, many of the students are asking me to repeat it. See, I'm seeing in the comment section. I'll explain it, don't worry. I'll explain it again, okay? So Z equals to 1.66. Now what do you do now? See here, up to Z, have you got it? Repeat it. See here, repeat it. I'll repeat it fast now. See here, what we do, this numerical will be given to you in exam. So your first target is find the difference, this sample and population. Find everything between, divide between this. So first find the population. Population is what? Do you know finite or infinite? It is infinite, right? Infinite. Keep it simple. Infinite. Once you get it infinite, immediately apply what? The standard error formula. And write down the values, whatever are given. For population, the value is given as mu. Mu is given as 2000. This one. Then standard deviation, we write it psi like this, psi. Psi is given as 600. Then on sample side, what is given? N, small n. Sample size is given 100. Then what is given about the sample mean? What about the sample mean? You don't know. So we'll call this as x bar. X bar is given as 1900. So these are the 4 values you are having. Whenever you get such a problem, you firstly divide it into these 4 parts. Then apply the formula for psi. Psi x bar, this. Psi x bar, psi upon root of n. If it's a infinite population, apply this, psi upon root of n. 600 upon 10. 600 is psi, standard deviation, root of n, root of 100. So 10, so 60. You got it, psi x bar. So this is known as standard error. Standard error, okay. Now once you get this standard error, what you do next is find the z value. What is the z value? Z value equals to 1 upon psi x bar into x bar minus mu. This formula you have to rectify, learn by heart. 1 upon psi x bar into x bar minus mu. Okay. Now all the values you are having. 1 upon psi x bar you are having, psi x bar is 60. X bar you are having 1900. Mu you are having 2000. Okay. So now do it. 1900 minus 2000, that is minus 100. Ignore the plus minus sign. So take it plus only. And this 60. So 100 upon 60 is 1.66. Up till now over here, got it now, everyone. Now using this Z value, we have to find out the probability. Now this table will be given to you in exam. And in this probability distribution table, remember, you have to check what this image is given. If this image is given from the starting, then it means your complete area of 1 is to be taken. This complete area of 1, complete area is known as 1. So if it is given, then you will be taking this complete area of 1. If it is given, this red mark is given only from half, okay, then you have to take only half. You have to take it from 0.5. Do all the calculations using 0.5. Now what am I saying? I'll explain you. Let's find out this Z value first. Let me expand this. What was that Z value? 1.66. So first find out Z. See here, Z is like this. How do you divide this Z? Divide this Z like this. 1.6, 1.66. So make it 2 parts. 1.6 over here and 6 over here. So this 6 will be checked in horizontal. This 1.6 will be checked in vertical. Now go forward. So vertical now. 1.6 first. 1.6 over here. And then other 6 is over here. See this 6. Match this 0.06 and 1.6 over here. It is coming to 0.9515. Look at this. Everyone is getting this 0.9515. Let me see how many of you are getting these answers here. Okay. Now, those who have not heard, kindly give me the answer for 1.66. 1.6 and 0.6. So give me the answer. It is in the comment section. Everyone in the comment section. It is 0.9515. Got it? This is 0.9515. Look at this. 0.9515. Everyone got this? Clear? 0.9515. So my probability over here is, now look at this. This is not your answer, but probability equals to 0.9515. Okay, but this is not your answer. Look at this. What do we want? Yeah. So now what do I want? My probability value is Probability equals to 0.9515. Okay. But do I want this 0.9515? No. Why? Because what am I getting? I want it below this area. And what is it given over here? It means when now you'll have to search. Now you'll have to think. This area of 0.9515 means from here. Okay. And I wanted what? Below this, from starting up to 1900. So this area 1900. So this 0.9515 area means this area. This complete area. Okay. So which area is it covering? And I want, remember, below 1900. So I want it on the left side. This area only I wanted. This on the left side of this line. I want that. Because I want below 1900. If I would have required above 1900, then I would have required this area. But I want below 1900. So I require this area, this part. So when I require this part, and what have I got? 0.9515 is the answer which I've got. It means what? It means this area only I've got it. So my answer over here is luckily the same, 0.9515, because I'm counting it from the left side and I've got the area of the left side only. So that's why my area, my probability over here is 0.9515. If they would have asked you that give me the area for above 1900, then what would have you done? Above 1900. Okay. Now let me show you that also. Above 1900, what would you have done? See here, this total area is 1. Now look at this, everyone. This total area is 1, right? Out of this, 0.9515 is below 1700 over here. Let's say, because this is 1 means 95% you are covering. So this all area is below 1900. Okay. Now if they would have asked me that I want this above 1900. So this total area is 1 minus 0.9515. 0.9515. If they would have asked me this area, then this would have been my question mark and this would have been my answer. But now they have asked me what? They have asked me below 1900. So I am wanting this area only. So my answer is correct over here. Luckily it is 0.9515 only. Okay. Got it, everyone? This is the way this numerical is to be solved. Not that simple. It's really difficult. You have to understand this probability distribution table correctly. And for that, you need to join the classes. Okay. Yeah, paid classes. Because there I'm teaching you all these numericals again and again, many times. Everyone subscribe to Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. In this channel, you will be getting number 1, free YouTube series on all the subjects of JIB and CIB, all. And whatever is free, you should grab it, isn't it? So that's why subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon immediately. Okay. Share it with your friends. Now some theory part. An interval estimate. Now this is regarding the estimation chapter. An interval estimate is the range of values used to estimate the population parameter. What do you mean by this? See here, you want this population parameter. Always remember this parameter word is always attached to population. And for statistic sample, it is which word is attached? Who can give me the answer? Comment section. For sample, which word is attached? The word attached is statistic. Always remember statistic. For sample, statistic word is attached, and for population, parameter word is attached. So interval estimate is the range of values used to estimate the population parameter. It indicates the error in two ways. The extent of its range means how far can this go. Means what? Suppose if I tell you today's India's score will be what? Suppose if I ask you this question. Suppose let's say there are matches going on now. India is, let's say, playing, and I ask you in 50 overs, or now let's say 2020. In 20 overs, what will be India's score? If I ask you this question, then what does it mean? Can you give me the exact score? In 20 overs, India will score 197. You can't give me. What will you give me? You'll give me a range around, India will score around 170 to 200. So this is known as range. Extent of its range. Now, if I give you, tomorrow I'll give you this range. India will score, I think so, 0 to 500. Within this range, it will definitely score. You'll say, what a foolishness it is, right? Because if I'm telling you 0 to 500, definitely it will be between 0 to 500. So the answer should be somewhat logical by the extent of its range. So range is important over here. Extent of its range, okay? So what range are we talking of? That is important. Got it? So that's why, so this extent of its range and by the probability of its true population parameter lying within that range. So within that range, if I give you this range at 0 to 500, definitely India will score between 0 to 500. But if I give you the range like India will score between 470 to 500. Now this is the accurate range. So my answer will lie somewhere in between. If it lies, then I'm accurate. If my answer doesn't lie over here, it lies somewhere in 100 only, then I'm far beyond this range, right? So extent of its range and the probability of the true population parameter lying within that range. So actually the answer should lie within this range, okay? So that is a good interval estimate. A sample statistic is used to estimate the population parameter is known as estimator. This sample statistic is known as estimator. Okay? Means whatever statistic we are using, mean, mode, median. What is the statistic? Statistic can be many things. I'll give you simple ones. Mean, mode, median. Right? These are all statistics. That is used to estimate a population parameter is called as estimator. The sample mean X can be estimator, an estimator of the population mean P. And the sample proportion can be used as an estimator of the population proportion. So it mean X, sample mean can be used as the estimator, and the sample proportion can be used to estimate the population parameter. So what does it mean? I'm using this mean, calculating this mean from the samples and using it for population. We can also use the sample range to estimate the population range. Hi friends, welcome to Adda 24/7. We are in the Scholar series for ABM. In this we are covering the important objective questions, important theory, as well as the important numericals. So follow the series completely. Okay, let's start. Event. First definition. What is an event actually? Okay, when we have marriage at a home or some function at a home, what is that called as? That is called as event. Event means what? Something happening, something special happening, or you can call it something happening. Similarly, over here, banking event means what? A declaration of a banking moratorium or any suspension, waiver, deferral, or repudiation of payments by banks with respect to indebtedness or deposits in the relevant jurisdiction. Now look at this event. What did I tell you about the marriage? It can be any event, right? Means some people are gathering, something is happening, so that you get an event over here, right? Similarly, over here, what is happening? Declaration of bank moratorium. What do you mean by moratorium? Okay. Moratorium means everyone understands. Here, we'll explain each and every term over here. Moratorium. Moratorium means what we have. Where do we have moratorium? We have moratoriums in home loans, right? Generally, we have them in home loans. What is a moratorium? It is a period where I don't have to pay the EMIs. Now, there can be various things, various points to this. For example, if I consider home loan, what do? I don't pay the interest. I'll write it over here. See this. In home loan, what is the moratorium? I don't pay the interest. Don't pay EMI, right? I don't pay EMI. I pay only interest. Pay only interest, right? That is home loan moratorium. Is there any other moratorium? Yes, there is. Which one? Everyone, type in the comment section. Which one is the other moratorium? Yes, yes, yes. It is. Other one is example, education loan, right? In education loan also we have the moratorium. What is educational loan moratoriums here? How does the education loan work actually? Education loan works like this. Suppose if I am having, let's say, how many years? 4 years of engineering generally. So if I am having 4 years of engineering or medical is a 5 years generally. So if I am having 4 years of engineering, so these 4 years plus 1 year for job searching, 1 year. So total 5 years, the bank doesn't ask from me. Here the bank has given me the loan. So up to 5 years, bank doesn't ask from me any principal or interest. If I want to pay, I can pay. Suppose if my father, mother or my parents are rich enough, they'll pay this interest within this. Okay. So EMI is not paid over here. Interest can be paid, or else bank even says that you don't pay anything up till the time of 5th year. Once you start the job, then you pay this interest, remaining interest also for this period. So year from year, what happens? Your principal amount, loan amount increases along with that interest. So that interest will also be calculated over here. From here, the person will have to pay EMIs, regular EMIs. So this is known as what? Moratorium. Moratorium means here I don't have to pay anything. Okay, that is moratorium. Where else do you find moratorium? Moratorium we found out where? We found out in during COVID time. COVID time, what happened? Government deferred the interest payment of many of the clients. Deferred. So don't pay for those 2 years. Pay it later. So that is again a moratorium. Okay. Or any suspension. Suspension means what? Directly suspended. Not to pay right now. It can be called as similarly to moratorium also. Waiver. Waiver is something different. Waiver and moratorium, they are different. What is waiver? In waiver, remember what happens? In moratorium, I'll have to pay later. But in waiver, I don't have to pay anything. Waiver, right? So equals to no payment. No payment. That is known as waiver. We have many farm loans which are waived, right? We have many times farm loans are waived. Then what happens? Next is farm loans, then certain business loans. Business loans are never waived as such. Only farm loans are waived in India mainly, right? So that is waiver. Waiver means that person doesn't have to pay anything. Deferral, repudiation of payments by banks with respect to indebtedness or deposits in the relevant jurisdiction. So with respect to indebtedness means somebody is having the loan but that person is not able to pay the loan. So that is known as either waiver or this suspension, right? So next, event means that imposition by any governmental authority of any moratorium on or any suspension, waiver, deferral, repudiation. So imposition by governmental authority. Generally the waiver comes from the government only during the election time mainly. Look at the state elections many a times. You get all these waivers during that time. Government authority of any moratorium or any suspension or any waiver, right? So this is known as an event. Okay, event means something happening. Okay, mutually exclusive. Exclusive means what? Things that are mutually exclusive are not able to occur simultaneously. What do you mean by this? Not able to occur simultaneously means at one time they will never occur. Which are the examples? Give me one example from your side which will not occur simultaneously. Give me one example. It is number one. Suppose I toss a coin. Toss a coin. What does it do while coin? I'll get either head or I'll get either tail. I won't get both, isn't it? Is it possible to get both in while tossing the coin? Can you get both over here? Never, right? We never get both over here. So that's why the coin tossing means it will give you either head or it will give you either tail. Never will it give you both, right? Sure. So that is one. What is the other one? Other one can be, anyone can give me other one? Other one can be? What is the other one? right? It can be suppose dice which we throw during our school days. We played that dice, right? Die, throwing a die, right? So that 1 to 6. So that is again a die, isn't it? So that is mutually exclusive events. Means what? Coin head or tail can never occur at one time. So that is exclusive. So in business also, in business it I can either fail or I can succeed. It can't happen at once. Sure, somebody can say I can fail in the business earlier and then I can lead in the business at some time also. That can happen. But can it happen right now? I'm failing also and I've succeeded also? Never. It's called as binary. It's either this or that. Okay. In business, this is typically concerning the undertaking of projects allocating a budget or allocating a budget. Means what? Undertaking a projects means what? Undertaking the project. Project means suppose if I undertake a project, either it will succeed or it will fail. It will be never in between. Suppose if it gets delayed, then also it's a sort of failure only. I'm not able to do it on time. Okay. So undertaking a project is a type of will give you mutually exclusive events. Either it will succeed or it will fail. Okay. If two things are mutually exclusive, it means the existence and occurrence of one does not necessarily mean the other cannot coexist. Cannot. What does it mean? It means that suppose if I fail in any business, it doesn't mean I can't succeed. It can coexist, it can exist, but not at the same time. It can come at some other time. That is known as exclusive. Okay. See here, always remember exclusive events are shown like this. This is one, and the second part is over. Either it can be over here, or this is also an exclusive event. Okay, these are not attached. But inclusive means they are common. They can coexist at one time. So this is not the case in exclusive events. Okay. Everyone subscribe to Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. In this channel, you will be getting the latest updates on JIB and CIB. Number two, you will be getting the free YouTube series on all the subjects of JIB and CIB. Okay, so subscribe to it, click on the bell icon, click on the like button. Okay, random experiment or trial. What do you mean by random experiment? Okay, what is the word random called as? Random means what? Random is anything. Suppose if I go to any place which I don't know, then where am I going? I'm going to a random place, isn't it? Suppose if I just, how does the mosquito move in air? It moves in the random direction. Okay, it doesn't have any specific direction. So that is known as random. So what is random experiment? An operation or experiment conducted under the identical conditions and which has number of possible outcomes is called as a random experiment or trial. So an operation or experiment conducted under the identical conditions. Look at this, identical. This is important. Identical conditions means those conditions which are similar. Similar. Okay, these are called as identical. Two boys are identical. Two girls are identical. It means what? They are similar looking. Okay. So two countries are identical. It means what? Their culture is similar. Okay, that is known as identical. So similarly, when I say conducted under identical conditions, what does it mean? Under similar conditions and which has number of possible outcomes. Now it can be various outcomes which can come out. Okay, so that is known as random experiment or trial. Got it, everyone? Important part, remember identical conditions and number of possible outcomes. That is known as this random experiment or trial. So example, tossing a coin. Now you will say, how can this be related to identical conditions? It can be. I toss a coin once, so I can get either head or tail. Now second time when I toss, I am again doing it under the identical conditions only. Just now I tossed once. Again I am tossing that coin. So now again I can have not only head, I can have tail also. So it's given which has number of possible outcomes. So under the same conditions I have tossed the coin once. Again I have tossed the coin in the same condition twice. But here I am getting a different outcome. I am not getting the head. So that is known as a random trial or experiment. I have done it in the identical conditions. Same, I've tossed the coin once. Similarly, I've tossed the coin in the same condition, but I'm getting different result. Similarly, throwing a dice. Suppose if I throw a dice, what can happen? What can be the outcomes in the dice? I can either, what is the dice basically? This is a dice, right? Which we played Ludo in our childhood, right? Ludo. We had all those 6 faces, then 1 over here, then 2 over here, like this, right? 3 over here, and then all these 6 outcomes were there. So that is throwing a dice. So when I throw a die over here, I can either have 1 at the top, or 2 at the top, or 3 at the top. So how many outcomes are possible? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 outcomes are possible because there are 6 faces, right? Selecting a card from the pack of cards means what? Again, look at this. From a pack of cards, how many cards are there? There are 52 cards. Okay. We don't consider the joker in considerations, right? So selecting a card means I can select any card. If I select any card, so it can be any one of those 52. So what am I doing? Under this, look at this. Identical conditions again. Identical conditions. So the same pack of cards is there. I am selecting once. So again I am selecting the second card. So doing the same experiment again with the similar conditions, but outcomes may be different. At that time I had got it some, let's say, ace of this heart. I might get a ace of queen, this spade then, right? In the second time, anything is possible. So that's why under the same conditions, if I do something and the outcomes are different, that is known as random experiment. Now let's solve some numericals. The percentage of marks obtained by a student on a monthly test are given below. So these are the 5 tests. Now by a student, they are obtained by one student only. So this is one student who is giving these marks. Okay. So what are the tests? 5 tests are there. The percentage of marks are given over here: 69, 71, 73, 68 and 74. Based on the above table, find the probability of the student getting more than 70% of the marks in the test. So more than 70%, where can that student get? Now this is something different, isn't it? What is the answer? Answer it, everyone. How many of you can answer this? Let me see. Very simple. See here, the probability formula is always, what is the formula for probability? Let me draw a line over here. Otherwise it will hide behind my video, right? Probability formula is what? Probability equals to what? Success, whatever is the success criteria, right? Success upon sample space, right? Total sample space, or you can call it simple required upon total. It's that simple. Here we should always keep the formula in simple language. Okay. So now coming back, what is this? How many tests are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what do I want? So total number of tests is what? 5. So I've got it over here. I'll mark this total. I'll write it. Total equals to 5. Right? This is 5. Now what is required or success? Required is, what is my requirement? Required is I want more than 70% of marks, right? I want more than 70% of marks, right? So in that case, what happens? More than 70% of marks. In how many tests am I getting it? In first test, what am I getting it? 69. So this is less than 70. This is greater than 70. Greater than 70, right? Less than 70. Then greater than 70, right? So in how many am I getting greater than 73? 1, 2, and 3, right? And these two I'm not getting, right? So now what is my required? Required is more than 70. So in 3 tests I'm getting more than 70. So what is my probability? Probability equals to required upon total. What is required? 3 upon 5. Okay. Or success upon sample space. Sample space means what? I've covered it in my earlier lecture. In sample space, what happens? I take entire whatever is the gamut, whatever is the total outcomes, I take that. So 3 upon 5 is what? 0.6. So this is my probability, isn't it? Always remember, your probability can never be less than 0 and your probability can never be greater than 1. It will be between this only, 0 and 1. It can be 0 also, it can be 1 also, but it can't be greater than 1, it can't be less than 0. Okay? In how many ways one king can be selected from a 52 cards? Oh, one king can be selected from 52 cards. Again, let's solve it. Probability means what? Probability. Give me the formula now. Everyone type fast. Let me keep it very simple. Required upon total, right? Okay. Now let's get it. What is the total? Total is what over here? Total. How many cards are there? 52. What is required? Required equals to one king, right? One king. But one king can be selected from how many kings? How many kings are there total? Total number of kings. Total number of kings are 4. So I can select any one of these 4. Is it given one king of this, one king of that, something? Nothing. So required equals to 4 over here, right? So when the required number is 4, so my probability will be what? Probability equals to required is 4 upon 52. Now give me the answer. That becomes 1 upon 13. Now solve this, everyone. Everyone solve this. Let me see who all can solve right now immediately. See here, your exams are near. Okay? You can't take the things lightly. Okay? Yeah. What is the answer? 1 upon 13, right? So it is 1 upon 13. 0.07, right? So it is 0.07. 0.07 and 2 something. Okay, 0.7. That much is enough. So the probability of getting one king from a pack of 52 cards is 0.07. Okay. Next one. In how many ways I'll get one ace king can be selected from 52 cards? Means one ace king to be selected from 52 cards. So again, probability equals to required upon total, right? Upon total. So what is required now? One ace king. And what is total? Total is 52 cards. So total is 52 over here. What is required now? One ace king. How many ace kings are there in the pack of 52? How many ace kings are there? Yeah. It's only one, right? How many types of cards are there? We know all these in our Hindi language or our Marathi language or our local language. But in English, how many types of cards are there? Spade. Spade. Then what? Heart. Right? Heart. Then what? Type fast. Spade. Heart. Then other one? Diamond. Correct. Diamond. 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 Spade. Heart. Diamond. Next one. Which is the other one? Fast, fast, fast. Yeah. Which is the other one? Yeah. Which other types? So spade. This. Everyone. Fast, fast, fast. One more is club, right? Club. Everyone has got it. See here, what happens? We speak about these in our local language, but we don't know about these English words. And these are asked in the exam many times. Okay. So let's come back to our problem. It is required upon total. So 1 upon 52. So that is the answer. That's it. 1 upon 52. What is the answer for 1 upon 52? 0.019. Okay. So 0.019. This is my required probability. One ace king can be selected from 52 cards. In how many ways can I select one joker card from a pack of 52 cards? Again, Simple one. So probability equals to required upon total, right? How many cards are there? Total. How many cards are there? 52. So 52. Okay. How many jokers are there in that 52 cards? How many jokers are there? There are zero jokers. Joker is outside this pack of 52. So the probability is zero. Series of ABM. Here we are covering important theory, numericals and objective questions. So follow the series from the start. Let's start. When the items included in a sample are based on the judgment of the individual conducting the sample is said to be non-random. Is it true or false? We are talking of this A1 now. A. When the items included in the sample are based on the judgment of the individual conducting the sample is said to be non-random. What do you say, guys? Type in the comment section true or false. I want the answer only in true or false. Individual conducting the sample. Judgment of the individual conducting the sample. It is. Yes, it is. Correct. The answer is here. Individual conducting the sample. This is a type of non-probability sampling. So the answer for this is true. Okay. The answer for this is true, everyone. Okay. One sec. Yeah. So the answer is true over here. Let me mark it over here. True. Okay. Second one. A statistic is a characteristic of a population. Now this is a simple one. You must answer this. A statistic is a characteristic of a population. True or false? What do you say? Statistic is a characteristic of a population. Let me see. Everyone, think over it. What is population? What is sample? Suppose if I find the mean of population, what is it called as? Suppose if I find the mean of a sample, what is it called as? Mean of a sample is called as statistic and mean of a population is called as parameter. So what does it mean? A statistic is a characteristic of not a population, but it's for the sample. So this answer is false. Okay, false over here. Okay, got it, everyone? Answer is false. Next one. See, such questions are asked to you in the exam and you need to be very clear in your mind about it. A sampling plan that selects members from a population at uniform intervals in time order or space is called as stratified sampling. So sampling plan that selects members from a population, so at uniform intervals, this is an important word over here, uniform intervals. So the sampling plan which selects the members at uniform intervals is called a stratified sampling. Is it true? Type fast in the comment section. True or false? What do you think? True or false? True or false? Yes. It is called as true or false? True, false. Yes. Firstly, what are the types of samplings? Probability samplings. There are 4 types of probability samplings. What are those? One is simple random. Yes, type in the comment section. One is simple random. Second one is, yes, everyone. In the comment section, please. Yes. One is simple random. Second is systematic. Correct. Systematic. Second one. Right. Third one, stratified. Correct. And fourth one, cluster. Got it? So here this stratified is the right answer or no? Now you all of you have to search it. You might have the answers also. So this is uniform intervals, means it is not stratified sampling. It is called as systematic sampling. So the answer over here is false again. Okay? It is false. Got it, everyone? Yeah. Second, next one. As a general rule, it is not necessary to include a finite population multiplier in computation for a standard error, the mean when the sampling size is greater than 50. Okay, let me change this. Let me make it when the sampling size is greater than 30. So now give me the answer. As a general rule, it is not necessary to include a finite population multiplier in computation for a standard error of a mean when the sample size is greater than 30. Now tell me the answer. Yes, it should be greater than, true or false? In the comment section, I want the answer from everyone. Is it true or false? Yes, it is. It is true. 30 is a true answer. Okay, 30 is the true answer. This is true. It should be greater than 30. Then the finite population multiplier is not required in that case. Okay, so the minimum sample size is 30 for these cases. Okay, so now before going ahead, everyone, let me tell you, see this. Join our Telegram channel and our YouTube channel using this. Okay, Telegram and YouTube channel, both the channels you should join. Scan this QR code right now over here. Okay, scan this QR code over here. Scan it and you can join our Telegram plus YouTube. Now, why should you join our YouTube and Telegram channel? Why? Here, the reason is in these channels you will be getting all the updates, number one, from this IIBF. Okay, so what is the YouTube channel? Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. Remember, there are many fake channels also. So that's why this QR code is given. By scanning this QR code, you can directly join the LinkedIn, this Telegram channel of this Officers Adda 24/7. Okay. Similarly, for this YouTube channel, you can join this YouTube channel also using this QR code. Okay. So do it fast. Okay. The probability distribution of the means of all the possible samples is known as sample distribution of the mean. Is this true or false? The probability, this question we are dealing with. The probability distribution of the means of all the possible samples is known as the sample distribution of the mean. Is it true or false, everyone? What is it? True or false? This, see here, what are we talking of? Probability distribution of the means of the samples. So we are focusing on the word samples over here. So whenever we are doing the probability distribution of any mean or mode or median, anything for the samples, it is known as sample distribution, or it's called a sampling distribution. That is the right word actually, sampling. But in exam they might give you sample also. Okay, so this answer is again true. Okay, this answer is again true. Got it? Next one. The principles of simple random sampling are theoretical foundation of the statistical inference. What is this? Principles of simple random sampling. So just now what did I tell you? What are the four types of samplings? One is simple random, second is systematic, third is stratified, and last one is this cluster, right? So which one is the best sampling? Base you can call it. Base of any sampling techniques or base of statistics. Among these four, which one is considered as a base? Everyone? That will answer this question also. The principles of simple random sampling are theoretical foundation of the statistical inference. Suppose if I have to find any inference of any population, so for that I need to do the best method is simple random sampling. So that is true. Again, true. Remember, simple random sampling is the best sampling. Okay, is the best sampling. All the remaining ones like cluster or this systematic or this stratified, these come later, but basic is simple random sampling. Okay, so those who are in the paid class, you might have already know. I have explained you what is the systematic, simple random, stratified. Okay, those are watching on YouTube, kindly join the paid classes, man, immediately, because there we have lot of time, isn't it? Next one. The standard error of the mean is the standard deviation of the distribution of the sample means. See, this we are dealing in. The standard error of the mean is the standard deviation of the distribution of the sample means. Is this true or false? Standard error of the mean I am talking of. Okay. So here we are talking of the mean, standard error of the mean is the standard deviation of the distribution of the sample means. So whenever I am talking of the mean over here, standard error means what? Standard error relates to samples. Okay. Remember one simple logic. For population, we always use the word standard deviation, and for this what samples, we always use the word standard error. So standard error of the mean is the standard deviation of distribution of the sample means. So standard error will relate to samples. So this is again true. These are all information points for you. In exam, you might get such questions. Okay? True. Next one. The sampling plan that divides the population into well-defined groups from which random samples are drawn is known as cluster sampling. So, is this known as cluster sampling? A sampling plan that divides the population into well-defined groups. Well-defined. Well-defined means they can be defined in any terms. They can be defined in the terms of region. They can be defined in the terms of age. They can be defined in the terms of marks. Okay, or they can be defined like in systematic sampling. They can be defined just by serial order. So the sampling plan that divides the population into well-defined groups from which random samples are drawn is known as cluster sampling. So is it true or false? True or false? Is it true or false over here, everyone? It is true. See this, again true. See here, I'll tell you one point over here. Even if this answer would have been instead of cluster, the answer would have been like this. Let me I give you 3-4 options over here. If the answer would have been instead of cluster, it would have been stratified. Then, or systematic. Then also the answer would have been correct. See here, well-defined groups means what? Whatever is it given specifically that what type of well definition? Is it related to regions? Here, I'll give you some hints about this. Cluster will always relate to region. Always relate to region. Stratified will always relate to strata. Means some groups, common things, percentages, 40 to 60%, 60 to 80%. That. Systematic will always relate to line. All of you stand in one line and every 10th person come here. So that is systematic. So these are all well-defined groups. So the answer is true over here. Okay. The standard error of the mean decreases with an increase in the sample size. So as I go on increasing the sample size, will the standard error decrease or will it increase? As I go on increasing the sample size, see, increase in the sample size. So will this standard error decrease or increase? What do you say? True or false? Type fast in the comment section, everyone. Yes. The standard error of the mean decreases with an increase in the sample size. True or false? Let me see. Yes. It is true. That is the basic rule of sampling, right? That is the basic rule of sampling. So the standard error will decrease. What is standard error? Standard error is actually the difference between the population mean and the observed mean. Keep it very simple. So standard error is the difference between the population mean and the observed mean, isn't it? We have that formula z equals to 1 upon psi x bar standard error into x bar minus mu, right? So that formula means that formula gives you x bar and mu. The difference is this known as standard error. Okay. To perform the complete enumeration, one would need to examine every item in the population. Means to do some survey. It's that simple. Suppose if I have to do some survey, so will I have to survey each and every element of the of that sample size? Means, suppose if I have been told to find out the average salary in any city, in Delhi, let's say, I have been told to find out the average salary in Delhi. Will I have to take the sample of each and every person in the Delhi? Will I have to go to each and every house in Delhi and ask them, what is your salary? What is this? What is this? Some 5-6 questions. Is it required to do the survey of each and every element? Not required, isn't it? What do we do? What do we do in this? We take some sample, representative samples. We'll take the samples in the 4 corners of the city, isn't it? 4 corners, various corners of the city, or some 10 samples from various corners of the city, and then we'll find out the average salary, right? So to perform the complete enumeration, one would need to examine every item in the population. So that is false. Okay, you need not do the enumeration of each and every item of the or do the survey of each and every element of that sample. Okay. In everyday life, we see many examples of infinite population of physical objects. So do we see them? We see many examples of infinite population of physical objects. Is it true or false? Infinite population. Do you see them? Give me some example. Give me some example of physical objects. Infinite population. Type in the comment section, everyone. Infinite population of physical objects. Okay, I'll give you some examples. Let me see how many of you have written. Yeah. Now let me see. So it is okay. Can you tell me the number of stars in the sky? These are physical objects. Stars are physical objects. Do you know the number of stars in the sky? No, you don't know, because they are infinite. Suppose if I give you 1 kg of sugar, 1 kg of sugar, and tell you to count each and every grain of that sugar, each and every grain. Is it possible? Grain, each and every grain. Not possible, isn't it? So these are all physical objects and infinite population. We see many examples. That is true. We see so many examples, right? So that is true over here. Next one. To obtain a theoretical sampling distribution, we consider all the samples of the given size. So see this. To obtain a theoretical sampling distribution. Sampling distribution means what is the total number of samples taken, how the samples are distributed. This comes under the normal curve, bell curve we call it. We consider all the samples of the given size. So do we consider all the samples or no? All the samples, everyone? So the answer is true. Yes, we consider all the samples of the given size. So here, sampling distribution, if you have to take, you have to consider all the samples, whichever sampling you have done. Okay, so the answer is true again. Got it? Let me see how many of you have answered this. Yeah. Next one. Larger samples are always a good idea because they decrease the standard error. So if I have the larger samples, will it decrease my standard error? Yes, they will decrease. Just now we saw it in one of the above questions. As the sample size increases, the standard error will decrease. So does it mean I must always go for larger samples? Is it true? What about the cost? Suppose if I am doing a sample survey of 50 persons versus I am doing the sample survey of 5,000 persons. What will be the cost of 5,000 persons? So it's not always a good idea. That is a false answer. It is not always a good idea because cost considerations are very important. In sampling, cost is very important part. Okay. Now before going ahead, everyone subscribe to Officers Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. I gave you the link also. Scan that QR code, okay, and subscribe to this channel immediately. Okay. So in this channel, you are getting all the latest updates from IIBF plus free YouTube series. Right now, what are you watching? You're watching the free YouTube series. So you're getting that also. So that's why subscribe to it, click on the bell icon immediately. The mean of certain population was 15. Most of the samples we could take from that population would likely have a mean of 15. Is it true? See here, mean of a certain population was 15. So if the mean of certain population, suppose if there is a city and I am having the average salary of that city is 15,000, let's say, okay. So the mean of the samples which I took from all the 5 corners of the city. So will the mean of those samples also be 15 or no? That is, let me see. Okay, let me see first from your side. Are you saying true? It is false. False. Again, the answer is false over here. Why? Because it's not compulsory that the mean of the sample should be 15 only. I'll give you an example. Suppose I'm having the samples here. I took 4 surveys, let's say 4 corners of the city, and I got the average as, means average of one was 10, second one was 20, okay, third one was 15, and fourth one was mm, let's say 17, okay, and this I'll make it 8. Suppose if I got these 4 salaries, 8,000, 20,000, 15,000 and 17,000. Now you do the addition of all these. 20 plus 8, 28 plus 15, 33, right? 33, then 43, 43, then this 7, 50, and then 60, right? So total I'm getting it as 60 over here. Total is 60. Do the average upon 4. So what am I getting? I'm getting this as 15. So my population mean is coming out as 15. But were all the samples having the mean of 15? No. So it's not compulsory. That is the point I'm stressing. So that is false. The standard error of a sample statistic is the standard deviation of the sampling distribution. So standard error of a sample statistic is the standard deviation of the sampling distribution. That is true. What did I say earlier? Sample standard error is same as the standard deviation. So that is true over here. Okay. True. Whatever this other name for standard deviation is standard error in case of samples. For population, it is standard deviation. Judgment sampling has the disadvantage that it may lose some representativeness of the sample. Judgment sampling. What is judgment sampling? There are 2 types of sampling. One is probability, second is judgment. So judgment sampling has a disadvantage that it may lose some representatives of the sample. That is true. Because judgment is based on the individual judgment. Suppose if I am the judge, I feel something is right, but there may be other things which are out of my purview or out of my thinking, but they may also be right. So that is true over here. Next one. The sampling fraction compares the size of the sample to the size of the population. Now this you must definitely tell me. Let me see. You must definitely tell me this answer. It should be, yeah, sampling fraction compare the size of the sample, size of the sample to the size of the population. So that is, yeah, it is true. That is the meaning of this sampling fraction. Okay, that is true. Now before going, everyone, I would suggest everyone kindly join the AIM batch, new batch which is coming up. Plus you join the Mahapack. I'll show you how to join it. Always go through the app, download the app, because in app you get 1% extra. Okay, let me show you. Go to Adda 24/7. Okay. Here click on JIB and CIB. Now click on CAIB June 24. Done. You'll see the new batches. Look at this. Okay. New. This is AIM batch. Click on this AIM batch. Look at the fees. Discount offer. See this. 23,999 fees, and it is discounted to not only 78. See here, I'll give you one more discount. Put the code Y432. Y432. Click on apply. Now look at the discount. It is 80%. Plus, if you go through the app, you get 1% extra. So 81% off you are getting. And the batch is yet to start. Okay. So that's why join the batch ASAP. It is starting on 22nd March. All the numericals, objective questions, case studies covered, ebooks, test series, online live classes, everything you have. These ebooks are to the level of, see this. The ebooks are per this subject. If you click on the subject, you get module-wise ebooks. Similarly, test series. Test series are these test series. These are as per the chapter-wise. Say this chapter-wise test series. So in such details you have it. So that's why join this AIM batch immediately. Plus you can join the Mahapack. In Mahapack you are getting multiple batches. Plus right now you are getting this double dhamaka. What is this double dhamaka? Here you are getting, see this, CAIIB Mahapack. You get around 7 to 8 batches per subject. Plus double validity. Double validity means you buy for 6 months, you get for 12 months. Plus 81% off is there. For that, don't forget this code Y432. Y432. Okay, and then click on apply. So 80% and 1% through the app. Okay. So join the batches, join the Mahapack immediately. Okay, because the exams are near.